today we are back to work on part 2 of our little summer cottage. Last time we flopped a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, we struggled a little bit, but I did work on it off of camera. And I did figure out how to build it into the roof. I was having like I said, I'm not good at building, but that's why we, stream on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Tuesdays, Eastern Standard Time, United States of America. So join us on stream. But yes, let us continue with our build. We're gonna hopefully finish the facade. Like I said, I worked on it off camera. I think I might change a few colors, and then we're also gonna work on some landscaping and try to get the backyard or the back section at least started a good chunk of the way. But yeah, no promises of finishing or completing a section. But like I said in the first part of this video, we're just taking it slow. We're building in chunks and we're just vibing out. So you can hear my cat eating. As always, they wait until they think I'm on a Zoom call for work to be annoying. But yes. Okay, so here's kind of the updated house. We made a few little extra bump outs and things just to give it a little bit more architectural detail, because like I said, it was giving cube, and we just want to be inspired by it and not necessarily recreate it. My cat eating. They're so annoying. Recreate it one for one. But I did figure out how to build it into the roof, which is nice. So this is kind of what we came up with. I wasn't sure where to put this roof line. So it's the seam to the roof is up here, but that seems really crazy. So I just kind of put it there for now, but we might change it later, / let me know what you think in the comments. It's is something like that too crazy, But yeah, we need to pick a foundation, as well as work on the back, and some of the colors I think just aren't working anymore. I just kind of put them in. But yeah, I wanted to do more of, maybe this was the camera. But I wanted to do more of maybe this is a cottage that's been renovated and a little more modern. So we have the horse ranch windows, which I think add a nice modernness, but still kind of has that rustic feel to it that works well with the cottage. I did dark brown, and I did kind of this darker greenish stone, so it looked a little older, but I don't think the colors are working very well anymore. And we do have weird brick stairs that don't seem like they match, but that's just kind of in honor of the house that I grew up in. It had brick stairs and it was a gray siding suburban house. So we're, that's what that is. So I think for the, oh wait, let me show you the floor plan. So I did build it up into the roof. We basically were able to achieve what the house was. So here it is. We got the dormer in. We had to sacrifice the closet, but that's fine. And we have this weird little space right here, which I guess we could just kind of cut off if we really wanted to, and just have that be open. That could be nice because we could then fit another window over here, but I kind of kept it in because I was maybe it'll be maybe we can add an ensuite in and then add the shower in or something like that, because there is only one bathroom. But oh, that took away the whole floor, so I can't cut that away. So if anyone knows how to do that, let me know. And then downstairs, here's the floor plan. We do have this weird little section that's just gonna be filled in because that's where the stairs are. And then we have a kitchen, which is bigger than the house I grew up in, but we're making some changes. In the house that we're referencing, the entrance is on the side, so there's a little bit more of an entryway space here, and this is meant to be a dining room. But we'll see how we go with it. I just couldn't figure out a way to put the door on the side and have it still be covered by the roof in a way that looked good, and kind of maintained kind of the structure going here. So also this little piece of flooring is crazy. I'm not good at building. Maybe we bring the eaves out, and then that kind of covers the door, and we can have the side entrance. That seems very severe, but I don't know. I actually kind of like it. So maybe we'll stick with that. And then the original house did not have this little bump out, but I added it just because architectural interest, as well as being able to paint the bump outs different stones. So like I said, I don't think the colors are working for me anymore. I didn't want to just do light stone black windows. I kind of like this, blended in window a little bit better actually. So that's an immediate solve. Let's try this. I really like that. Okay. Okay, you can kind of see the seam in this roof. I don't know if it's because I took the eaves out on this one, or we're just doomed. Let's try to maybe move it so the seam is lining up right there, and if that feels a little less awkward potentially. Okay, I feel like the black is so severe. Let's try to find, I'm so sorry about the camera. It's moving me to the top floor. And now over here. Yeah, I really like the window paneling change. Okay, let's try to find maybe a different shingle. Okay, I kind of like that greenish one. Feels kind of the smaller size, and the greenishness gives it a more weathered feel and a more cutesy cottage feel. But I also like this one because it has that same scallop detail, and it's less dark black, so it does look a little weathered, because again, we want this to look kind of renovated and modernized. I think I like this green one. I think it just has a little more character than the more modernized one. The black trim still looks good, and I think that it matches the trim of the windows, but let's see if there's another color that could potentially work. Because it'd be nice if there was something that was a little more similar to the window trim that kind of matched the house, but I don't know. For some reason, when I do things, I'm I feel like I don't want this to just be black and light color. But honestly, the contrast just feels really nice to have. I was gonna say this wood kind of gives vibes, but I don't think it gives enough contrast. I think we'll stick with that lighter black. It's not like the pure black. Now let's find a foundation that works. And I think I'm gonna change the stairs to the more like gray bricks. You know, the house that I grew up in had like red bricks and they were really beautiful, but I feel like it just kind of contrasts a little too much. Like on some level it's giving that unexpected pop of red theory, but also this kind of just works a little bit better. Okay, let's find a foundation. I'm thinking potentially this light color one matches the trim of the window. It doesn't, as well as I hoped. That does look cute. Something dark to provide contrast. That's giving a little creepy haunted house in the cottage vibes, which I don't like. Okay, this brings like a warmth that's nice. I think this horse ranch one is gonna be the closest we can get to something that makes sense. I wish it didn't jut out as much as it does, but I like that. And then I think for this back patio, oh, let's get this side here. I think for the back patio, the house that I grew up in, it was just like a cement block basically. So I think I wanna honor that and not put the same trim. And it'll also help give like a sense of divide, I think. So I think this like warm cement kind of matches really well. Let's change the lighting. Okay, it's not as warm in that lighting. I think that'll work the best though. Okay, I'm really liking this. Do we want to change the color of the bricks? So like I said, it is kind of like the more greenish weathered one. And the original house is gray. I don't want to make it gray. Okay, this has a little bit more variation to it. Or like this is a little bit darker. Do we like that? No, I like the lightness. We could also do this warm one. And then there's also like the lightest version, which I also do like. But I think this mid-tone one matches really well with the windows and the foundation, so I think we'll keep it. I changed my mind. And then I think something else that we desperately need is a chimney. There was a dormer here the whole time. I was struggling in that video of like, how do I add a dormer? Me not knowing how to build in this game. Okay, these are the ones that come with cottage living, so in theory it should match our bricks, but we all know how that goes. And doesn't. This one also came with cottage living and could potentially match the bricks better. I think that matches the bricks better. I just don't really like the shape of it. I really like this one from base game. There's also this stone one that's kind of nice and it feels a little more modern. Yeah, I just wish the like metal on this one was dark. I like this stone one, I think, from base game the best. Yes! Okay, I really like that. All right, now, since we are gonna switch that back, there was a window here in the house that I grew up in, so we'll add that in. And hopefully that doesn't look too, I kind of wish it was like a half window of that. Maybe instead of this one, we could do one of these circles. Oh wait, these are horse ranch. I don't think there's a horse ranch. There's like a half window. I think that's the smallest one. Yeah, I wish I could size it down. Maybe this stone window. I don't know if I like the two of the same window right there. So maybe we do like the longer one. Even though this is meant to be potentially going to be, hi Orville, potentially going to be a guest bath instead of a pantry like it was in the original house. I guess the frustrating part is that it has the top and bottom like windowsill and none of the other windows on the house are gonna have that. But I think the variation in window size is kind of necessary. Beautiful. Okay, and the back here, let's get some stone. Actually, we probably want wood. So the house that I grew up in, it was wood stairs, but I don't have a lot of packs installed, so my options are a little limited. Let's do the horse ranch stairs to match the horse ranch column probably. Yeah, that goes together, but we also used to have dark brown window trim, so maybe let's try to find a different color. Maybe this more pale. I think that kind of matches with this a little bit better. It's not exact, but they kind of feel like they're in the same family. Gorge. Oh! And then is there like a wood wallpaper that's gonna match these stairs? Okay, maybe that's close enough. Okay, I don't think that's too bad. And then obviously we're gonna replace the door. All right, let's find a door that's a little bit more of a back door. I mean, we have the cottage living doors. See, this one gives back door to me because like you can see out of it, but it has the mail slot, so I don't think it's intended for that. The laundry day door is kind of cute. I do wish the trim around it matched the trim of the windows a little better, but that's definitely giving back door tees. Okay, I'm gonna commit to this one, and we'll leave it blue for now because like I mentioned in the other video, my mom was always painting stuff in our house like really bright, bizarre colors just for vibes, so we'll do that. We could change the windows to the brighter color to match the trim of the door, but you know what? I don't think it's that bad. And I also need to learn to embrace that not everything in The Sims matches, because not everything in real life also needs to match. I'm currently in the middle of redecorating my apartment, and I need to let go of like every single thing needs to be the exact same wood tone and blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to trying to work on that. Okay, let's get a front door. I mean, the cottage living one is cute, and then we could match the blue. But I also kind of like this beautiful, just like white door. So let's kind of, I think let's commit to this one. This version of the white door has the black hardware, which matches our window trim a little bit better, which I like. But that one's just a little more warmer of a white, and then I think that gold brings like a nice warmth. Beautiful. So now, this is just placed kind of in the center of the lot toward the front. And if we're going for lore accuracy, the house we're referencing had like a sidewalk that went through here, and then we had like a swing set that my grandpa built in a garden, and then there was a carport instead of garage, and we had like a fenced-in yard, whatever. So since this is the cottage living pack, we could do like a little animals situation back here instead of the carport or something. That could be a vibe. And then I also think we could have, now our porch was not covered, or like our little like patio thing wasn't covered, so I don't think I want to do that. But I think we could have like little side gardens as well. I like this sidewalk. I just kind of did it as filler, but I think we'll keep that. Up front, do we want sidewalking even though it's going to hit the edge of the lot? I also think I'm going to move the house back a little bit. That way we have a little bit more room to landscape on the front. And I'm going to turn the tiles this way. I think that makes a little more sense. Okay, I think we should start landscaping. Now, I'm not the best at landscaping, and I also don't like to use debug, mostly because I don't have a PC, and so not having organized debug and like those mods is really frustrating, so I just don't really mess with it. But let's do some. See, this one feels like it goes in this world. I'm just gonna pull a few things out that we might use. Okay, I pulled out a handful of trees that look like they could belong in the world. So we're just gonna start with trees when it comes to landscaping, before we get into anything else. So like I mentioned in the other video, my cat's running around. There used to be like a huge like oak tree in between the houses. So like the fence kind of went through here, around here, and then it got like huge, and I think the roots were messing up everyone's like plumbing. And then when they cut it down, it fell onto our little patio and then like cracked our little patio thing, which this looks like it's one tile too big. So oh my God, this is like trippy. It kind of, it looks a lot like the house I grew up in. So I think we want to have the tree here, and a lot of it kind of like, oh, I'm not good at rotating things. A lot of it came over our backyard. So I think I really like that. I'm going to push him over a little bit more too. And we're not going to fence in this lot because it kind of is on its own, kind of in the middle of nowhere, you know? And there's like that lot over there, so it's like kind of on its own. So we're not going to rebuild the fence, but we are going to get our oak tree in. So you'd picture like a backyard fence here. Actually, let's see what it looks like. Now, I know this is like the snowy escape fence, and it kind of leans Japan, but I kind of like it. Again, this is like a modern cottage, and I just like the colors with it, so I think I like that. Is there a matching gate? There's a matching gate for the lower fence, but not for this one, of course. Okay, this backyard stuff, I believe. Perfect patio, I'm not sure. Whichever one was free. It's kind of giving the same colors and stuff, so I really like that. Let's go ahead and work with this one. So it would have been like this, and it would have gone around the tree, like barely. I don't know if I can get a gate to come out this way. I can, yes! We'll give him some breathing room. We'll move him a little bit if we need to. Like I said before, there was like a carport back here, so the fence just like ran into the carport. So we'll just kind of start like that for now. And then it kind of barely came out over here. So we'll just do that for right now. And that could change as we figure out what else we want to do in the backyard. But I think for like curb appeal vibes, that's working. It is a little bit more of a suburban looking fence, but I think it works. And then let's get the gate. And I used this like off-white color. It really matches our like windows. I think that's really beautiful. Yay! We have like little stepping stones, which I think are probably in debug, so I'm not gonna be able to recreate that. But there was one time there was like a stepping stone right here, and there was one time my brother and I like lifted it up and dug under it, and then we were so convinced we found a dinosaur bone, and we kept digging and digging and digging and digging. We dug this like really deep hole, and we were so serious about it, and it ended up being one of the plumbing pipes. So I don't actually like this bump out, so I think I'm just gonna extend this into this and then move the tree to the outside of it, and I think that'll be fine. I'm gonna move it like right up, almost like the roots are like spreading and growing into the yard. I don't mind that it clips a little bit. I like that. And then I potentially want this to just be the gate at the corner. And then again, we'll move this tree. I kind of like the asymmetry of that, like 2 tiles on this side, 3 on this side. I think that's nice. Okay, I'm actually really happy with this. I really like it, and like it is just giving like such, I don't know, nostalgia, summery vibes to me. It just looks like our old house. Now, we definitely have window boxes. My mom loved window boxes. She loved her flowers. She loved her gardening, yard work. She was always out inside in the yard doing yard work, like taking handheld scissors and trimmers and like edging up the sidewalk so it was like a perfect grass line on the sidewalk. Stuff like that. She was always trimming the bushes, mowing the lawn, washing her car. She loved spraying for weeds. She loved being outside and doing chores and stuff. So we definitely got to get in some flower boxes. And they're not going to have the plants that she would always put in. Every year, it was always the same plants that she put in. And it was like a spider plant and then some beautiful little like flowers. Do I want to size these up? Nope. I can't. These look a little more accurate to what they would have been in real life. The white is a little stark. But, I mean, our flower boxes on our house were like painted white, and they were kind of like, not shabby, but like weathered. Shiver, please get out of the sink. So honestly, I kind of like that one, and it brings like a little bit of texture to the front. I know these are technically blue, but like with the lighting, it's kind of like giving, because it makes it more of like a mid-tone. I kind of like the blue, and it's like kind of working with the stones down there. Or we could just do white. I'm gonna stick with the blue. I really like it. It's speaking to me. So I think I'll do this so they don't touch. And then we only had 3. They were right here. At least that'll also help cover up that the windows aren't the same. But I really like that. Okay, and then we can also like get in some like ivy and stuff later on. The wisteria, yeah, from like cottage living. Can do some of that as well. I think I want to focus on just getting like the groundwork laid before we go in and kind of like clutter with more like details and stuff, because it's hard for me to like make decisions. So let's go back. Let's get some shrubs. Now, we had just like normal like suburban shrubs, but my mom was obsessed with those like freaky deaky little trees. So she would like trim our bushes to look like those. So I feel like we have to have at least one of these freaky deaky little like palm trees in honor of that somewhere. somewhere. It's like we had like a row of them and she would turn them all into these, but I think for the sake of like the simification of the house, we should just do one. I think he looks really good right there. Love him. I think with some more like balanced shrubs across, it'll work. What does the shrub fence look like? I don't like that. And then maybe we move this here and we let it be like one bigger and kind of push him into the corner. I don't really care for that. Maybe we put him on the side over here and we shrink him back down. No, he looks weird shrunken. We did used to have like a tree on the hill that had like flowers on it. So he could be that. Oh my God, we got distracted. We laid out all these trees and then didn't use any of them but the oak tree. We got to go back to the trees. Okay, hold on. This is why I can't get anything done. Okay, let us now place, there were really no other trees on our lot growing up, except like I said, there was a tree like up front on the hill, kind of similar to the one right here where it would just like flower these really beautiful flowers. And it was more of like a canopy shape than like a tall tree, but we'll use this bench to represent that. And maybe we'll tuck this into the corner over here, or at least attempt to. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be inside the house. Yeah, severely. I wish it could be a little closer. And then let's scatter some trees around just to help blend the lot into the world. We don't really know what's going on in the backyard, so we might use these in the backyard. I think I said in the intro of this video that we're gonna attempt to do the backyard today as well. That was a bold-faced lie. Okay, this side's down too many, just doesn't look good. We'll have to use him somewhere else, I think. He's just not working. Or we could get the taller one and then tuck it in. Over here, we move the flower tree to this side. It's just so bizarre. Maybe something like that. I just want the trunk to be a little closer, but I think that's inside the house. It's not. Okay, I kind of like that. And then I think if we have like wisteria and stuff and ivy kind of coming over, it all kind of will help blend it. We can get some rocks. I guess that one looks a little more natural in color. Yeah, I think I like that. I do like these unkempt ones. Maybe we try to sneak them in. No. Okay, I think that looks really good. And then there were bushes on this side as well. Beautiful. Let's do some terrain paint. Because we always had dark mulch, and I remember doing it every summer. My mom doing it every summer. Going out and buying mulch and also buying gravel. My mom loved gravel. She also loved smooth stones. Like we would go like collect stones sometimes. It's kind of funny. And then I think there's some gravel we could use. I like that warm gravel. There was definitely like gravel right here. Like there was just a square of gravel right there. And it had like a little decorative flag in it. Okay, and then let's just get some darker grass, put around the tree to make it feel real. And then let's figure out where we want to put this flower tree. I think it's a little too small to just put right there. I think it's a magnolia tree. I can't resize it. I feel like we need something a little bit bigger. Okay, I think a tree maybe like here looks kind of good. And then we can maybe stack a few trees on the side like this. We did have like a hose and like, again, like rocks on this side growing up, and there was also a neighbor on this side, and they had like fierce little rock beds with like cactuses and stuff. Like she was killing that. Okay, let's put these two trees there. I think that looks really good. And then some of these are like out in the world. So for height, let's try to put something maybe like up here in the front, like it's part of the world and not the lot. Yeah, I like that. And then again, we'll deal with the back later, but I think from like curb appeal and like the facade, like this is really working. I'm really liking this. I think we can move Miss Oak Tree up. And then I don't know how to get stepping stones that aren't in debug, but I don't want to turn debug on and then it be flooding my catalog. So we'll think of something there. The side here was definitely also gravel. Turn the grid on and help me draw this a little better. I wish you could hold shift and it created a straight line, but like in like Adobe and stuff. Yes, there was gravel here and then there were like dugout places to put like flowers and stuff. Okay, let's do big and small. I think, does that look camp and cartoony? No, some of the flowers in the world around us are like thriving and large. Okay, beautiful. I like those. Yeah, some of these look like wild, like they could be growing in the world. And I kind of like that. Ooh, these purple ones are really pretty. I love the romantic garden pack. I don't like use it enough. Yeah, I like the darker grasses on these. We'll do some small and large here. I like that. Oh, I had sunflowers. We had sunflowers in the back. We'll get to that. And then we also have these like assorted wildflowers. I think we also might want like a little like spiky bushy thing over here. Could be nice. Oh my God, like these things. These kind of look like spider plants. We had these. These were what was in our like window boxes often. Beautiful. And like we had little windows here because we had a basement, but so it was kind of built around, like things were kind of planted around that. But yeah, I really like that. And that's kind of like what it was. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, yeah, we need like the little stepping stones that go out. Around this tree, it was like rock, kind of like these like pavers almost, which kind of sounds insane, but like the tree was truly like growing out of like rock and like on a little bit of a hill. But I guess for the sake of this, let's not do that. We'll give her some like grass. Okay, I'm really loving this. This is everything. Okay, and then on the porch, we had like a little shelf and then like there were like little like wooden like blocks that you could spell out your family name. So it would just say like our last name. Like, do we want that? And then my mom would also put like seasonal decor on the porch and stuff. So, all right, so let's use this Desert Luxe curtain rod and create like a little like shelf. I don't think I'll be able to find like name blocks, but we can like clutter that. Maybe we can do like a potted plant or something. Let's also get a porch light. This gold one might be nice. I really like that. That's actually really beautiful. Matches kind of the hardware on our, or would it make more sense like over here by the window? No, I kind of like it right there. It's kind of interesting. And then we had a mailbox right here. So I think the one from, oh, Snowy Escape is not in hidden objects. Beautiful, and ours was black. Okay, I can't like get it to the middle. Let me zoom in. Beautiful, I really like that. Okay, yeah, mailbox right there. Let's get a little potted plant to put on the shelf. Well, like to fake put on the shelf. So hold on, we need, if you don't know this hack, you can use the Dream Home Decorator cube to align things anywhere you want them and then alt place them. So if I wanted a cute little plant up on this not shelf, I can do this. And then I can alt place it onto the shelf. Well, in theory, I can alt place it onto the shelf. Okay, got some cute little beautiful decorations on there in lieu of what was there. Oh, let's paint the ceiling right here before we forget. Should we do like a beautiful wood or something? I kind of like that light wood. I think that looks nice. Okay, beautiful. And I think we should get something to put here as well. I mean, I love the jungle adventure plant. Something that looks like it's definitely potted to be outdoor, I think could be nice. Maybe we size this one down. Gorgeous. And then definitely a welcome rug. I mean, these are super holiday centric, but oh, it's not gonna register the top of the stairs as like a platform to put this on. Why can't I put a rug on the top of the stairs? All right, well, that's a shame. I can do this one, but once I size it down, I can't. I'm really confused. If anyone knows how to get a rug on top of a stair platform, let me know. Okay, that's really beautiful. I really like it. You know, we didn't get as much done as I was like hoping, but I really enjoyed building today. And like I said, we're just taking it slow and we're just trying to vibe out. But yeah, here's what we accomplished today. Our beautiful little summer cottage inspired by the house that we grew up in. I'm obsessed with it. I really like it. The backyard really like started giving me heavy nostalgia. Yeah, and I love this little porch. It reminds me so much of our old house. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had such a good time today. It's like gray and rainy out today, so it's so fun to just like cozy and like build. Thank you for coming back for part 2 if you did. The part 1 was a mess, but we figured it out. And if you're interested in more builds, we do, once again, we stream Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States of America vibes. That was like multiple accents merged into one really bad accent. We have to stop. I'm not sure what you mean there, vibes. But yes, coming out with us 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States of America. Also, thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoy the series. Anyway, bye. Yeah, I really like this build. I think it's working. You know, my computer fights for its life after so long. So, we're taking it in chunks. But yeah, if you know how to, I guess, put a rug on the stairs, please help. Damn.